Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as chair of the board, I welcome you to this May 21st, 2024 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our office coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. If you would like closed captioning during the meeting, you will have to manually change your settings, click on the captions button and select show captions. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it is also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it back over to Chair Fuller.
Thanks, Aaron. I now call this May 21st, 2024 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
And then the following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt Washtenaw, Assistant Director of Engineering Aaron Burkholz, Director of Operations Adam Leip, and Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Thanks, Aaron. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the revised agenda as you received it today?
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Is everybody clear on what the change is and how to proceed?
I do.
Okay. If you'd call the roll, please, Aaron.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes. The revised agenda is approved as presented. We have one set of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of May 7th, 2024 as presented, pages 4 through 16 of the packet.
So moved. Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, the minutes of May 7th are accepted as presented. Next, we have an opportunity for our county commission liaisons to report in. I don't see either of them with us this morning. Okay. We will move on to our next item. It's public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Aaron will explain how people may be recognized to address the board. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. Since we have some in-person attendees, we will start with those first, but we will start with those who signed up on the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you didn't sign in, you're still welcome to make comment, and our communications manager will will notify you when it is your turn. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments.
All right. Anyone wish to address the board, offer comment?
Yes, we'll have Andrew come to the mic first.
All right.
Please state your name. Come up to the mic.
Please come to the microphone.
To the mic,
This
state
is
your
being
name and
recorded
address and phone number.
so that people can view it later.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know there's a high school student here today,
Uh-huh.
so I would actually like to offer him and invite him to come up first. And then,
You're here. Go
okay,
ahead. Go
great.
ahead.
Well,
Got
thank you
your
then.
3 minutes and the clock's running.
Oh,
So
appreciate it. All right. Again, my name's Andrew Shepherds. I'm from Wholesome. I know you've probably seen me here at a couple meetings. I've been here before. Here today, we have a facility at 6700 M52 in Manchester. which we're in the process of looking to expand that with our partners in Sharon Township. They've been excellent partners with us moving forward, but we may need a little help from the road commission. And so just today, I know I've sent an email to all of you, but I'm hoping that we can have a dialogue to at some point in time to kind of talk about what a possible solution would be to we're looking to potentially put a conveyor in and we need an easement to go ahead and do that. So it's about 40 feet. But pretty simple, and it takes a ton of trucks off the road and off of M52. Because if we wouldn't have the conveyor, we would have to essentially move the material via truck. So again, appreciate your time and really looking forward to hopefully chatting about this with all of you or with Matt, who's been fantastic. But again, thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here, Andrew.
Next, we have Billy Curry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to introduce myself. I'm Billy Curry. I'm the Director of Operations for the Wholesome Aggregate Group. So just to give you a little background on our aggregate group, we operate in Michigan, Canada, and Ohio, our region. So Michigan is our biggest outlet for aggregates. Obviously needed for the infrastructure within Michigan, the operation that Andrew spoke about in Manchester. It's our newest greenfield operation. So it's really something to see. Like he said, we really need this easement, the conveyor, to help minimize these trucks on the road, but really state of the art on the plant, emissions. The company has got an initiative to reduce carbon. Again, state of the art, phenomenal township community to work with. We're proud to be there. We're proud to be a part of the community and look forward to working with the community in this county. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
And next we have Hassan.
Hi, my name is Hassan Youssef. My address is 4419 Monteith Drive, Ypsilanti, Michigan, 48197. I'm a student at Huron High School, and I came to today's board meeting for my government class. Thank you.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
10th grade. All right. Make sure you sign in so we can get your information accurately included in the record.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Tiffany?
That concludes our
All
public
right.
comment.
All right. Very nice hearing from all three of you. We will move on next to written communications. They appear on pages 17 and 19 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to ask about or draw our attention to? Seeing none, we will move on. Commissioners, any response? Staff, any response to the public comment that we received today? Commissioner Green.
I would just like to say to Hassan and thank you for coming to our meeting. Appreciate your involvement in what's happening in our county. Thank you.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I would like to say to Mr. Curry, thank you for the information on the facilities of the Greenfield operation. It sounds very interesting.
Anyone else? I would also like to thank Hassan for being here and having the courage to come to the microphone. I know can be intimidating. And for the representatives from Wholesome, thank you again for being here once more. Appreciate it. And interacting with our managing director and the supervisor in Sharon Township, Ms. Spiegel, is probably the best route to take at this point. All right, thank you. Okay. We will move on. I have to shift gears here a minute because of our revised agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as it appears on the revised agenda, items 1 through 19, The motions appear on page 20 through 37 of our packet. Background appearing on pages 39 through 77.
So moved. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you want me to
Support?
read this?
I need a second.
Oh, second.
Second.
Thank you.
All right.
Any discussion? Aaron, if you'd please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes. The consent agenda has been approved as presented. Our next is one action item. May I have a motion to approve action item number 1, which would dissolve the Association of Southern Michigan County Road Agencies and turn the fund balance over to the County Road Association for use in education programs. I believe the motion is on page 34. Background on pages 62 through 64.
Madam Chair, the board hereby votes yes to dissolve the ASMCRA. And if the proposal to dissolve the ASMCRA is approved, the board also votes to turn over the $21,515 account balance to CRA for use in education programs.
Make that motion. Yes.
She made the motion. I need a second. Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? This was covered at the Southeast Council meeting, as you may recall. There are no questions. Aaron, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, action item number 1 is approved as presented. Next, we have reports. We'll start with Commissioner Smurs for his report as a road commissioner.
May 15th, I was the commissioner on chat. We had one call about detours in Scioto Township in a couple different projects, but it was mainly just asking information about why certain detours went into place.
Okay,
That's all I had for my report.
thank you. Hello,
Thank
Commissioner
you.
McCollum.
Madam Chair, on May 8th, I attended the chat with the Road Commission. There were no attendees. On May 14th, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec meeting. I do have a download of the border to border trail information that I will let everyone read. And on May 17th, I attended the Michigan Works Open House. They have relocated to 1201 East Ellsworth Road in Ann Arbor. The building is spacious and well-stocked with computers and staff. They will be opening satellite spaces in various communities on the eastern part of the county. At the Commissioners' Conference in September of this year, I will be facilitating 3 Impress Awards presentations. For collaboration, I picked Lapeer County Road Commission Awareness Plows. This project brought tears to my eyes. How lovely people's hearts are to show how much they care and support one another when times are tough. The pictures are awesome. The plows were decorated with themes from various schools, such as breast awareness theme and autism theme were just 2 of the plows. Communication, I picked Oceana County Road Commission. They have a toolbox talk improving safety culture. This project was put together so well, and I enjoyed reading the safety issues as well as learning more about safety for the Road Commission staff. It was very fun to read, and I thought if something's fun to read, people are going to read it. Also, they have a quiz, so they have to be tested on it. So I like that accountability. Kent County Road Commission is the last one I picked for operations. And the Kent County Road Commission's new central complex is massive and beautiful. This project blew me away. It's a very beautiful, functional building that will last and service the residents in the area for years to come. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Would you repeat, please, who did you identify under the collaboration, the first category?
The first category was Lapeer County Road Commission Awareness Plows.
Got it. And remind me why you why do you identify one from each group? How does that work?
So we just, so what the commissioners conference does, we just pick 3 to go into more in depth.
Ah, okay,
So those people will be there in September and they will have pictures. They will show everyone. They're just showing what their project. It's
Okay.
not to pick any, give them more awards. It's just to
okay.
show what they've done.
And these were featured at the recent highway conference?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Good.
so we'll have new ones a year from now that you'll talk about.
Right,
Okay,
right.
all right, I'm with you.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions for Commissioner McCall? Commissioner Yamas? No report. Commissioner Green?
I have no report.
All right, and I have no report this time. We will move along to staff reports and updates. Staff reports begin on page 78, run through page 84, and I will turn this over to our managing director, Mr. McDonnell.
Thank you, Chair. I'll take any questions that anyone has regarding the staff reports included in the board packet. Okay, no problem. What I would like to talk about, 2 things. One is the email correspondence we got from Wholesome. You all should have received that. We're gonna be working at talking with our township partner. That's our most important relationship is our township partners. So we're gonna make sure we understand their perspective on this request. Also, I intend to follow up with the supervisor and see where they're at with land use decisions as well. Just make sure everything is in a good approval status. Obviously, they have an existing operation that has existing approvals. Just want to verify that. And then one other thing, we will likely, because this involves a property request on land that we own, we can put it as a closed session topic at the next meeting where we can kind of delve into what some of the legal ramifications may be by placing easements on properties that we own. That's the request at hand. So we'll put that on an agenda. I'll work with our chair to put it on the agenda for the first meeting in June and make sure our attorney is aware of that and is available for that meeting. So I will follow up on that. And then after subsequently talking with the board, obviously we can then give a response to Wholesome. Also wanted to give an update in Superior Township. I know this is one that has been around for a while. Stevens Drive traffic calming. I am happy to report they did collect enough signatures. We have a township agreement sent to Superior Township, which they have previously committed they would fund the speed humps. So we would anticipate them turning that around with approval and coming back to some meeting in June. And then subsequently we'd get those speed humps constructed this construction season is the hope. So that's good news.
Was that Mr. Clifton?
That was Mr. Clifton. I was just gonna mention that.
Have you been in touch with Mr. Clifton about this?
I know our staff has.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, so it's making its way through the process. We'll make sure Mr. Clifton is updated on where we're at.
okay,
But he is the one that had helped gather all the signatures to state that the neighborhood is fully in support, over 50%, that they would like to see those speed humps installed. So take a little time, but in the end, a little success story. There are some another neighborhood, Tanglewood subdivision, also working through the process in our neighborhood traffic calming in Superior Township. So they are, we've gone through the analysis, they warrant or they've qualified for the speed humps. They're now circulating petition signatures in favor of that. So that's still working through the process, but just wanted to give you an update in case any of you are asked about the traffic calming in Superior Township.
what's the second sub?
Tanglewood.
Tanglewood,
I believe it's Oak Brook Drive,
okay,
the street in question in this Tanglewood subdivision.
got it.
So that's all I had. I will now ask Aaron Burkholz, the Assistant Director of Engineering. Brett's on vacation today, and he is in his stead and ready to provide a report in the engineering department.
Thank you. Aaron Burkholz, Assistant Director of Engineering with the Road Commission. Thank you for allowing me this time today to provide an update in Brent's absence. So Brent had updated the board previously on what he and I are referring to as the Engineering Roadshow. This is where Brent and I ventured out to various yards and visited with the district foreman and the crews at those yards to provide an overview of the engineering department staff, the type of work that we do, provide an update on the 2024 road work that's being undertaken, and then cover the millage and provide some information to our staff on the upcoming millage vote. And so Brent and I had the pleasure of visiting last week with districts 3, 4, heavy equipment and facilities. And we've got one remaining that'll come later this week. We're going to meet with our state trunk line crew, with communications and with IT. And that'll conclude, at least for this year, the Engineering Roadshow. I've got the update broken down into 2 components here. So we've got active road construction. We are well into the construction season this year. Lots of orange barrels out there everywhere, accomplishing good work to improve the roadway system. So we've got the project up at North Territorial and Dexter Town Hall. They're making good progress, but unfortunately, the thunderstorm that rolled through this last weekend did some damage to the restoration that had been freshly placed by the contractor. So again, it's unfortunate. I reassured our project manager, James, not to lose heart, that these type of things happen. We cannot control Mother Nature. The contractor also cannot control Mother Nature. And so they're doing some restoration repair, trying to work towards getting our final layer or our final course of asphalt pavement out there at that intersection. So they are continuing to make progress there on that safety improvement. We've got another safety improvement in North Territorial and Webster Church Road. They are working that half width. So basically we're maintaining 2-way traffic in a single lane on North Territorial Road using temporary traffic signals. They've been working on the south half of the road. Curb and gutter went in this week. So we've got curb and gutter in place. And so once you get that curb and gutter in place, it really starts to define the intersection. And I'm happy to report that the owner of the business there at the southwest corner actually spoke with Becky, our project manager, today, and he told her how happy he was with the way it looks now. And again, understandably, it can be frustrating for a business owner when we have an intersection under construction, but again, he recognized that this is going to be an improvement. So that was certainly encouraging for Becky. We have completed the signalization projects at Ford and Russell in Ypsilanti Township and at Ellsworth and Oak Valley in Pittsfield Township. So those signals are in place, they are operational, the projects are complete. So I'm very happy to report that. The Miller and Zeeb roundabout is ongoing. So the concrete curb and the aggregate base material is in place. They are working on, we refer to it as concrete flat work, but basically it's filling in the islands with the decorative red concrete that fills the islands at a roundabout. So they're working on that this week. They've got the installation of intersection lighting. The lighting, the street lights are starting to go up out there. And they've scheduled the final asphalt paving after the Memorial Day holiday weekend. So again, they're making steady progress on that roundabout project.
Aaron, that's decorative red concrete, right?
Yeah, decorative red.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah,
It'll look really nice when it's done. So it's an aesthetic appeal to the roundabout that it does take a little more time, but it is, if we get a chance, when it gets to down, it's a good one to look at.
And it is, it's colored, it's stamped, so that it does provide some curb appeal.
And that color variation does slow traffic down as a visual indicator.
Yep.
Yep. So that's one of the things of features that as we have built these roundabouts, we start to learn that these are good added value features to help with the safety of the intersection. So that's another safety project that the engineering department was able to competitive grants get for investment in Washington County.
We've
Pictures.
Oh, sure.
Well, that's a
Yeah,
good
we-
one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you know,
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Smurz.
Just concrete question.
yes,
Is it integral color or is it cast color?
it's integral color. So they add it right to the truck. It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
it-
That's
the
a great
entirety of
question.
the depth is red.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so,
It's not gonna change that in 5
Right.
years.
Right,
Yep.
the sealer tends to wear
Slow,
over
yeah.
time, but it slows it down, but the question is oftentimes you could add a color on top, like as part of the cure and the sealer, but this one is, it comes out of the
when it's
concrete
coming out of the truck, it's
red.
red.
Traffic over 5 years, 6 years, it's all the color comes
Don't
off,
forget the
but
snow
not-
plowing. Yeah.
It won't.
Very good point.
That's what they did.
I'm happy to report that on the border to border trail segment D3 that we've been partnered with Washtenaw County Parks on, that we have finally gotten to the point where all the railroad approvals have been granted, and they're actually working towards setting the 200-foot-long pedestrian bridge over the Huron River the week of June 3rd. So that certainly is a milestone out there to get that bridge in place, because working with the railroad can be and continues to be quite a challenge. And so again, we're all very excited about that.
For those of us who don't know what segment D3 is.
Yes. Huron River, so yes, so it's along the south side of Huron River Drive from Zeeb Road going east to Delhi Metro Park.
Oh, that way.
Yeah.
It's across from the Lock Alpine subdivision. You'll often hear
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that's
And
that's
there
a
she is, Miss
that
Bailey
is a
working her
huge
magic.
accomplishment. I'll just say that's been years in the making. It's been a very challenging, and I want to commend the engineering department, just their fortitude on this project, particularly dealing with the railroad, difficult on-site scenes, some challenges for that foundation of the bridge. It has been one heck of a challenging project, and it's been over the course. I think this is its 3rd year. So it's been a long time coming, but it is going to be a gem.
Is this where the Bell Road Bridge is?
No, the Bell Road Bridge, Washtenaw County Parks has been discussing putting that in the city of Dexter. So that actually
Okay.
would be used over there near Dexter Chelsea Road. They've proposed a crossing, if you think about Dexter Chelsea, kind of behind the Knights of Columbus Hall there, or behind Haley Mechanical, kind of in that area.
Okay.
Is where they hope in the future to build a crossing there to connect that trail in that part of the county.
Okay.
But this segment of the border connects the Metro Park at North Territorial, goes all the way south through the city of Dexter, and then along the river and connects all the Metro Park, the Dexter Huron. So
Yeah, so basically you can traverse on a non-motorized trail all the way from Hudson Mills north of Dexter, all the way over to Delhi Metro Park.
Nice.
So, yeah. The countywide HMA paving is well underway. So on Parker Road between Scioto Church and Liberty, that was a pulverization and paving project. That's been completed now. They just put the stripes on that yesterday. And then Sharon Hollow Road between Austin Road and Sharon Valley Road. That was a HMA mill and fill project. The aggregate shoulders have been placed on that, and we're awaiting permanent pavement markings. Temporary markings are in place out there right now. And speaking of pavement markings, I got an update from one of our engineering technicians, Felix, yesterday. And thus far, PK Contracting has placed 2 million feet of pavement markings just on the county roads here in Washtenaw County. And I double checked. I couldn't believe that. I said 2 million just on our roads. And Felix, he confirmed it. He said yes. And ultimately, the goal is 5 million. So they're not quite halfway, but
That's paint. Yep.
that's paint.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So.
yeah,
Um,
and there's stretches of North Territorial where we did the chip seal last year. Oftentimes after we do the seal coat, the chip seal, the fog seal, we'll paint it. And then that first winter, where we have that scraping, winter maintenance, it does a number on our paint. So we have to go back and repaint. So that's why oftentimes after a large year of seal coat program, we're gonna have to, they recognize that we're gonna have to do additional painting.
Yeah.
And again, that's another very important safety feature for our lane assists, keeping folks on the road, especially in the at nighttime, where you've got low visibility, that paint where it's got reflectivity as well. So it's a very important program. Thank you.
And we are starting to transition from a 4-inch line to a 6-inch wide line. So as you drive some of the roads, the edge line and the center line may look fat. That's because it is. We're adding 2 additional inches. And there's a number of reasons that is done. But Matt mentions one of them is lane assist. So many of the vehicles now have lane assist that it helps to have that wider line on the pavement. Also, as Matt mentions, we have wear and tear on that pavement marking, that striping. And so to have some additional paint on the pavement, as that starts to wear off, you've got a better chance of drivers recognizing those lines. So we've got a number of projects in I refer to it as the pre-construction phase. I'll mention just a couple. We've got the Whitaker and Willis Roundabout project. Again, that's a federal aid project, so it was bid through the Michigan DOT. So that one is going to be a June 3rd intersection closure. So actually, we will close that intersection. That's immediately adjacent to the Lincoln Consolidated Schools campus. Nate Murphy, our project manager, and I have been in touch with the schools. We've had a virtual meeting with them. We've talked to them. So we're actually going to close the intersection on June 3rd, and the last day of school is on June 7th. And they said, well, can't you just wait until the end of school? We could, but then we lose a week, and there's a better chance that we're going to carry into the next school year. Generally, and Lincoln, they agreed with this, is that if we're going to impact one end or the other, that we impact the current school year. That way, going into the new school year, they don't have to worry about it. So that'll start actually on June 3rd with the closure of that intersection. The first 2 weeks have been delegated to DTE Gas to complete all of their gas main relocations under a closure, and then our contractor would start the work. So that one's approaching quickly here. That one is, we're planning on a mid to late August project completion, and again, targeting getting the project done before school, should all go as planned.
We have big message boards out there
Yes,
warning people,
yes.
alerting people. Okay.
So, yes, the message boards will be out there in advance of June 3rd to make
All right.
sure everyone is aware that the end is near.
And that
Yes.
one was a fairly well-attended virtual public meeting as well.
Good.
Yep.
And then I'll mention the road commission, the Jackson Road concrete pavement project. So we had a May 14th bid opening on that. 4 bids were received. They were all reasonably below or very near the engineer's estimate. The reason I say reasonably below is because, again, over time, me bidding as many projects as I have, if someone comes in very low, that's concerning for an engineer because you think maybe they missed something in their bid. These bids were really good. All 4 of them were kind of in the realm of where the engineer's estimate was. So the pre-construction meeting for that project has been scheduled for May 29th. And the intention there is we're going to be removing and replacing the concrete pavement on Jackson Road from at the east end would be Myrtle Avenue. To the west end would be down near Jackson Industrial. So just to use landmarks, there used to be a restaurant called Fresh Forage on Jackson Road. Now it's a Himalayan place called Base Camp. So we're going to go basically from Base Camp all the way down to Zeeb Road, just in the westbound lanes. We're going to gap out Zeeb Road and then pick up on the other side next to the sports bar and go down to AutoZone. So all that concrete pavement will be removed. We'll retain the curb lines. We're going to do it part width. So that means they'll maintain traffic in one lane while we're ripping out the other. But again, there's a lot of traffic on Jackson Road. Our latest count is about 18,000 cars per day, and that's both directions. So if you figure half of it is going in the westbound direction, that's 9,000 vehicles a day. For a county road, that's a pretty busy stretch of road, a lot of businesses.
Worried
So,
about the workers out there in the roads.
yeah, and certainly something we share that concern. Everybody's going to have their head on a swivel and really watching out for one another. Because what I've seen over time through my career is people are more and more distracted as they're driving. So it sounds terrible to say, but I'll be honest, it will back up traffic, and that's not always a bad thing. Because if we back up a little bit of traffic and people have to slow down coming into the zone, hopefully they maintain that speed through the zone.
Is our county sheriff aware that this project is on the horizon and
I'm going to be speaking.
they're ready to come park a cruiser there with lights on if they need
So-
to?
Yes, we have some very good partners at the sheriff's department, so we'll certainly be asking for their
Okay.
assistance. Especially what we find is early on a project, if we can get their support, that tends to convince the motorists that they need to be paying attention, so.
And they've
yeah.
got that substation just up the road there
Yeah.
too. Commissioner Yamas?
So how's it gonna impact that project that's happening on Jackson Road and Z, where they're building that huge car lot or whatever they are, and then they're gonna pave Delhi Road, right? West Delhi?
Yeah, that would actually be to the east of our project. So
Okay.
that's far enough to the east of our project that the two projects really shouldn't overlap. They've actually performed some work on that part of Jackson Road already under permit from the road commission. So they had to do some utility work there out in the lanes, and I drove that yesterday, and actually they've patched that back in now. There's fresh concrete there, so I think they've completed the work in the road. Yep,
Thank you.
yeah, of course.
One other item to mention, as part of the consent agenda, we did issue a temporary traffic control order lowering the speed limit such that we can have an enforceable lower speed limit for the sheriff for that Jackson Road project. So appreciate you passing that as part of the consent agenda and the contract for the Jackson Road project as well.
And certainly I
Stop
wanna,
signs on sticks just aren't very big.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real, oh, okay.
I should share some thanks with the SIO Downtown Development Authority, the SIO DDA. And again, it was in the consent agenda today. They contributed $500,000 to this project out of their budget. And again, very thankful for that. I mentioned that we're only working in the westbound lanes between the limits I described before. That project it's $1.5 million. And people are shocked by that. Because total length, it's about like 7,000 feet of concrete, but it is 2 lanes. It gets wider at the turnarounds. It goes to 3 lanes. And then down at the Zeeb intersection, it's even wider than that down there like Weingarts. And so, and I'll say concrete pavement is expensive.
But it
So,
lasts much longer.
yes, concrete pavement is very durable. Again, it certainly has its place as asphalt pavement does, but
Mhm.
in this particular case, that certainly is a commercial corridor. And the hope is by investing in concrete that it lasts for a very long time. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
it.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, next up, we have Adam Lape. Excuse me.
Good afternoon, Adam Lake, Director of Operations. For the operations update this week, I want to highlight the Seal Coat program. Some of you probably heard, I know Ken talked to a few of you in between sessions. So June 3rd, we're going to start. We'll be kind of the southwest corner of the county, start working through some of the projects there and then kind of move our way east and then north and our typical kind of around the county method we go. So a little over 30 miles this year. And as we've talked before with all the millage prep, this would be a smaller year because we're starting to wrap up the millage work. So we're doing more pulverizations, more paving projects, kind of setting us up for the next millage where we'll come in and start sealing some of these roads we paved 4, 5, 6 years ago. It's an exciting time of the year to bring that group together. The superintendents that you met here earlier and talked a little bit with, we'll bring the better part of 30 people together throughout the county. They come from all over. Every garage essentially brings a group. So it's kind of cool to see all 30 people bouncing around at once, sometimes more, sometimes less than that, but good majority because we have at least 10 to 15 trucks that haul that aggregate for us. And then another group on the ground working of 10, 12 people as well. So, you know, there's 20 just before you even start talking about all the supplemental groups, loading the equipment and the material, things like that back at different stockpiles. So it's really exciting to see. We'll apply those stones to that sealer, for that 30 or more mile segment there. Then we'll come back around again, and that's where you'll see us perform our fog seal, which in turn will complete the seal coat program for the season. Our group, we talk about it a lot. They're pretty efficient. If what Mother Nature weather cooperates, should have that done within the first, second week of July. So it's a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work in 15, 20 days. So pretty good group that moves that down the road for us. And then the remaining group, which is still ongoing to this day, but the remaining group throughout the county will still continue our local road improvements, and primary road improvements for that matter. The drainage, the forestry, you see a lot of, and then inevitably spreading aggregate on the unpaved road segments. And then the paved segments that we're working on, we're prepping typically for an engineering project to come in behind that. And those are funded between our millage, our MTF funding, so basically our funding specific, so our department, and then the local road program that's funded by, townships, in theory matching our contribution. And really far exceeding it, to be honest, by the millions. So it's impressive. And then one major milestone out back at the material storage building is that here in the next few weeks, we'll start actually getting salt moved from the old building into the new building. So pretty excited about that. We're getting there. We've got a little bit of grass growing now, so we're really getting down to the end here. And then a little bit of excitement for all of us to kind of see it happen is when we can finally demolish the existing structure. Seeing that get brought down is going to be interesting. So that's something we don't get to typically see. So when they demolish the current dome.
How did they do that?
So they'll probably start, I should have brought some pictures with me and maybe I'll bring back some with me. When they demolish the ones in Oakland County, they take an excavator, a large excavator that we would rent for a large scale culvert project. So usually like a 20 or 30 foot reach excavator. So these are big, 80,000 pound machines. They're huge. And they'll basically track in the door and then they'll start pulling the door portion off. And then they'll start pulling that shell down, almost like they're taking a seashell apart. And they'll just kind of work it around and back and forth like a smiley face. And eventually then the back half will just set itself down. There won't be any cool implosions or anything like we were hoping they would have to do at first, but
No pyrotechnic.
no, they didn't take my
Oh, thank you.
suggestions. Yeah.
They would be happy to help. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Matt wasn't supportive of my recommendation, so I had to be patient and just
Matt.
watch the excavate. No, I'm just joking, but yeah, so that's how they bring those structures down. They can actually piece them down because concrete is so rigid, because it's in majority concrete. It's so rigid that it'll uphold itself as you kind of piecemeal it down.
Looking forward to the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it should be pretty good. We are excited about
Could be
that.
some time lapse, right?
Yeah, so we had a little gap where we had some issues with our signal system. We had to work through some glitches. So we might have lost a little bit of time around the concrete pour, but we've in theory covered the entire, well, really the entirety from when it was grass to reestablish grass. So we'll have a time lapse.
Very
video.
cool.
We have a little bit to add on to the one we did in November that Tiffany built for us. So that we had displayed. So yeah, so really excited about that. It'll be something we can kind of share with others. And I think even some of the construction group will probably take it and use it as, reference for previous projects. So,
All right.
so that concludes my update, unless there are any other questions.
I don't see.
I just have
Matt?
one thing to add. I just want to thank you, Adam, and folks in the operations department that have really done a great job of getting the township agreements in. I think on this agenda, we had 9 agreements.
Yeah. another
It's a
big batch.
huge
Yeah.
part of that
Wow.
partnership that we value so much. The investment into the local road system is
For sure.
enormous. And so it'll be a big undertaking
Yep.
to get all the work accomplished.
Yeah. That's really, I appreciate the compliments. I mean, that's my group. They're doing a lot of work, and now we even have engineering helping us with a lot of things from the culvert program to repaving roads and really a lot of the townships are really pushing forward with asset management. So we're getting things settled earlier and they have plenty of time to deliberate and decide what they want to do. Yeah, so it's nice to sit back and watch, but really like the credit is to the people doing all of it. We hit our goal. I think Jared had, we had talked a little bit,
That's
maybe a
Mr.
month ago.
Powers.
Mr. Powers, that is, sorry. Mr. Powers, our superintendent, one of our superintendents, he was shooting to try to get more than 50,000 tons of stone down. I think we pushed like 80,000. So, and that's, like I said, it's all the people doing it. So, we appreciate that, but thank you for the compliments and, forward that's the group.
By June, we should have all those township agreements in and program is rolling already. So
Yeah.
great job.
Yeah, we even have some completed, and we've talked to every township, even the ones that we've extended. We know they're planning, how we've kind of talked before. And so we're having good conversations, and it's okay if they need to extend a little bit because they're actually making good, thoughtful decisions. It's not just not responding.
Okay.
So, the few outlying townships are full into planning and some of them are doing projects in the millions. So obviously need some time to prepare for those. So, but we can get it all accomplished this year.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have the Finance Director, Dan Ackerman.
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. Just a couple of things. Before I saw the board agenda, I was going to mention that we're issuing job numbers. Basically, every project that we have to issue a job number, millage projects, MTF, township agreement projects. So then I looked at the agenda and saw the 9 township agreements or whatever that we have, and each one of those, if there's a particular project, needs a job number. So I guess there's some job security. Thanks, Adam. So we'll be busy
That's a
populating
concern,
those. Yeah,
Dan.
right, that's right. And then we'll start working on our first township billing agreements. Get those ready to go too, so that'll be exciting. And I feel like the last couple of years, we continue to refine our procedures and it's getting better and better. And it's a nice collaborative effort with finance and engineering and operations. So looking forward to that. We also prepared our first 2024 county millage invoice for road commission work. It was a little bit shy of $1 million. So staff is currently reviewing that. We're hoping to send that to the county soon. And that's always nice to get that rolling as well. And I wanted to share that Tracy Balkwell, who handles our payroll, is at an offsite conference for a couple of days. Some great sessions to learn. And also I think the networking's as important as attending these conferences. And we talked a little bit about the Gallup poll this morning, and one of the Gallup poll areas that they thought we could do a little better is providing materials and resources, and part of that is training. And we are firm believers in training our folks. I want to make sure that they feel it's valuable. And then absolutely, we are very supportive of that. So looking forward to Tracy sharing whatever information she learns with me and the rest of the staff. And again, we're big supporters of that. So
Where's our conference, Dan?
it's Bay City.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's put on by CRA Finance and
CRA Finance and Human Resources. So Alicia Held, who is in Human Resources here, is also attending with her. So
Oh, that's
and,
great.
and they're really good. They both had a list of questions that they're bringing with them, because the networking is a great opportunity to say, well, we have a question, how do you handle your open enrollment, or how do you handle changes with payroll, or whatever the questions may be. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to learn. So looking forward to hearing back from them on that. And then finally, just again, wanted to acknowledge Chris and Josh, and it was an honor and a privilege to be able to work so closely with them. They're professionals. They've done a great job. They've really moved our IT forward. And I'm most impressed, they're problem solvers. When Chris joined us, we were still kind of in a transition as far as all of our IT and looking for what direction we want to go. And I recall Chris had, we had a lot of questions or problems that we were looking to him to solve. And a lot of times he had several solutions for them, not just one, but several. And I just remember just being quite impressed that, just the knowledge, expertise, and skill that he had and continues to bring to the table. But, again, it was an honor to work so closely with them. And certainly I will still work closely with them, because finance and IT is interrelated, but, just appreciative of the opportunity. So and that's all I have. If there's any
Is it
questions.
all comments for Dan? I have two things. One, there's going to be a change in who the county treasurer is at the end of this year. So just anticipating that there'll be another transition looming here.
Yes, and I've already had some discussions with the county treasurer's office. And we have a good working relationship, which surprisingly enough, there are a lot of road commissions that don't have that great of a relationship with their county treasurer's office. And I kind of don't know why. I mean, it's, do we always agree on everything? We don't, but we really rely on the treasurer's office. And Catherine McClary's done a lot of great things for us and this county. So I'm very appreciative of the relationship. A lot of the controls we have in place for banking comes from the county treasurer's office, and they're very mindful of that. And I think it's really helped protect our assets. So Catherine started around when I did. So in the mid-90s, which is unusual. I think, because I did have a conversation with her recently. I'll share that. And I think she's the longest serving treasurer that Washtenaw County has ever had.
Could be.
So again, this is going back to, I think she started around 95,
She
maybe.
was a county commissioner before that as
She
well.
was a county commissioner as would she go to U of M, I think?
I don't remember.
She was
Dan.
as a college student, she was a county commissioner in her 20s.
Wow.
So she has a long relationship with Washtenaw County. And again, I started a little bit before her, but not much. And when she took the role, she had a background in money and banking. The treasurer's position is an elected position, so you don't necessarily have to have that background. So I felt really fortunate that she kind of already had the money and banking mindset. When she took over as treasurer, the county treasurer's office had hundreds and hundreds of bank accounts. And a lot of them had $20 here and $50 there and so on.
Really?
And you still had to have staff to reconcile all these accounts month after month. And she was like, this is ridiculous. So she really did a lot to consolidate things. So, certainly I wished her well, and obviously, very, very dedicated to Washtenaw County. But I am also comforted that they have some staff over there that has some longevity. And they assured me that, once the new person is elected, that they will reach out to the road commission and we'll have a meeting, and certainly can have the new treasurer come speak to you if you'd like. But just to, just to put a face to the name and just see what they're going to do. But, I look forward to meeting this new person. So, but I'm not concerned.
Well, your operations manual is going to be even more important come November. I don't know whether there is one at the county. I mean, again, she's been there a very long time. Much
Yes.
of that is in her head. And I don't know what, so.
The deputy treasurer, Kirsten Osborne, I don't know if you know her or not, has been there since, I want to say the late 80s or early 90s. And so again, there's a lot of, and she's the deputy treasurer, so, her right-hand person, and I worked very closely with her as well, and I believe she's going to continue at least for a time.
Good. That
Yes.
would have been my father.
Yes.
And then kudos to Chris and to Joss. They have the patience of a saint.
Yes,
Really appreciate.
for sure.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. That concludes our report.
All right. I want to remind people that the Washtenaw County Road Commission offices will be closed on Monday, May 27th in observance of Memorial Day. There are notices on all the doors as well as on the website under the calendar tab. Our next meeting is a regular board meeting, 1 o'clock on June 4th. Our virtual chat sessions, as usual, every Wednesday, noon to 1. I'm on tap tomorrow. The 29th is Commissioner Green. June 5th is Commissioner Yamas. June 12th is Commissioner McCullum. June 19th, Commissioner Smers. And then I'm up again that last Wednesday of June 26th. Please remember to arrange for a substitute if you're unavailable on your assigned date, or if you're not going to be present for any of our upcoming meetings, because we need to ensure that we have a quorum so we can conduct business. If there's no further business to come before this board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smers.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burpler.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.